A Division III walk-on just signed a $75,000 NIL deal. A Division I starter was told he can't make a single dollar from his name, image, and likeness. If you think you understand NIL eligibility, you're probably wrong about at least three major categories of athletes. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the NIL eligibility rules that are making some unexpected athletes rich while leaving obvious candidates with nothing. I've worked with NIL agents who have negotiated over $18 million in deals, and they told me the eligibility misconceptions are so widespread that families are leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. The information you're about to get comes from the people who actually negotiate these deals. When I asked them which athletes can and can't make NIL money, their answer shocked me. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why some of the most successful NIL athletes are people you never expect, while some obvious candidates are completely shut out. Let's start with the basic eligibility framework because everything else builds from here. According to the NCAA, any enrolled student athlete can participate in NIL activities as long as they follow three core rules. Rule number one, the activity cannot be contingent on enrollment, athletic performance, or continued athletic participation at a specific school. Rule number two, the activity must be consistent with state law where the school is located. And rule number three, the activity cannot involve prohibited persons or entities as defined by the NCAA. Sounds simple, right? That's what I thought until one agent who negotiated millions in NIL deals told me those basic rules create about 47 different exceptions, loopholes, and special circumstances that most families have never heard of. Another agent added something that completely stopped me in my tracks. The athletes making the most NIL money aren't the ones you see on ESPN highlights. They're the ones who understand the eligibility nuances that 95% of families ignore. So, let's dive into the categories of athletes that will surprise you, starting with the ones everyone assumes can't make money but actually can. Category number one, Division III athletes. Here's what most people think. D3 doesn't give athletic scholarships, so NIL doesn't apply to them. Completely wrong. Some of the highest earning NIL athletes are D3 athletes, and they have advantages that D1 athletes don't have. Why D3 athletes can dominate NIL? First, they're at schools with wealthy alumni who want to support both the athlete and the institution. A lacrosse player at an elite D3 school just signed a $75,000 deal with a car dealership owned by an alumni. Second, they have more time to build personal brands because D3 athletic commitments are more balanced with academics. Third, they're often in smaller markets where they can become local celebrities. A D3 basketball star in a college town of 30,000 people has more local recognition than a D1 bench player in a major city. Category number two, walk on athletes. Most parents think my kid doesn't have a scholarship, so NIL companies won't care about them. Wrong again. NIL deals aren't based on scholarship status, they're based on marketability. There are walk on athletes earning more than scholarship players because they've built better personal brands. Case study. A walk on kicker at a Division II school built a massive social media following by posting trick shots and behind the scenes content. He's now earning $45,000 annually from NIL deals, while the starting quarterback makes nothing because he has zero social media presence. The lesson? NIL eligibility isn't about athletic ability or scholarship status. It's about marketability and personal brand. Category three, international student athletes with conditions. This is where it gets really complicated, and most families get it completely wrong. International students can absolutely earn NIL money, but there are visa restrictions that create unique opportunities most people don't understand. Here's how it works. F1 visa students, which are most international student athletes, can earn NIL money for activities that are considered passive income. Things like licensing their name and image for trading cards, video games, or merchandise. They cannot earn money for active services like personal appearances, coaching clinics, or promotional events without additional work authorization. But here's the surprising part: passive NIL deals are often more valuable than active ones. I've seen cases where international athletes earn $50,000 to $200,000 annually just from licensing deals with video game companies, trading card manufacturers, and merchandise companies. One international soccer player at a D1 school earns $175,000 per year licensing her image for an international video game and trading cards. She can't do local restaurant appearances like American athletes, but her passive income exceeds what 90% of domestic athletes make from active NIL deals. Category number 4: graduate student athletes. Most people assume graduate students can't do NIL because they're too old or not really college athletes anymore. Another massive misconception. Graduate student athletes often make the best NIL partners because they're mature, professional, and have established personal brands from their undergraduate careers. Plus, graduate students often have more flexibility in their schedules and fewer NCAA restrictions on certain activities. A graduate transfer quarterback just signed a $125,000 NIL deal with a local business group specifically because of his maturity and community involvement. Now, let's flip it. The athletes who look like perfect NIL candidates but are actually restricted or prohibited from earning money. Restricted category number 1: recruited athletes during contact periods. High school athletes who are being actively recruited face significant restrictions on NIL type activities even before they get to college. If a high school athlete is receiving recruiting benefits, official visits, camps, showcases paid for by the college, they cannot simultaneously earn money from activities that might be considered recruiting inducements. Case study: a highly recruited basketball player was offered $25,000 by a local business to appear in commercials. Sounds great, right? Wrong. Because he was taking official visits during the same time period, accepting that deal would have violated NCAA recruiting rules and cost him his eligibility. The lesson: high-level recruits actually have fewer NIL opportunities during the recruiting process than lower-level athletes who aren't receiving recruiting benefits. Restricted category number 2: athletes at schools with restrictive state laws. This is where it gets geographically complicated. NIL eligibility depends heavily on state law, and some states have restrictions that basically eliminate opportunities for their athletes. Examples of state level restrictions: some states prohibit NIL deals with alcohol, gambling, or cannabis companies. Some states require school approval for all NIL activities. Some states limit the dollar amount of deals without additional oversight. And some states prohibit deals that use school logos or trademarks. There have been cases where identical athletes at neighboring schools have completely different NIL earning potential just because they're in different states with different laws. An athlete in Florida might be able to sign a $50,000 deal that would be completely illegal for an athlete in Alabama, even if they're at similar schools with similar performance levels. Prohibited category number 3: athletes with compliance violations. Here's something most families don't realize. Any NCAA compliance violation, even minor ones, can eliminate NIL eligibility. There are student athletes who lost six-figure NIL opportunities because of paperwork mistakes or minor rule violations that had nothing to do with NIL. Here's a real example. A track athlete received an improper benefit worth $200, a meal from a booster that violated NCAA rules. That violation cost him a $75,000 NIL deal because companies don't want to partner with athletes who have compliance issues. Now, perfect compliance isn't just about staying eligible to compete, it's also about staying eligible to earn. Prohibited category number two, athletes in certain Olympic sports during Olympic years. This one really surprised me. One agent told me that athletes in Olympic sports face additional restrictions during Olympic qualification periods that can eliminate NIL opportunities. If an athlete is competing for Olympic qualification, they may be subject to additional rules from international governing bodies that restrict commercial activities. This could create situations where the best college athletes in their sports are actually prohibited from NIL deals during times when they would be the most marketable. Now, let's dive deeper into state laws because this is where families make the most expensive mistakes. Identical athletes at similar schools can have completely different NIL earning potential based purely on geography. It's the Wild West, and most families have no idea what their state allows or prohibits. Here's a breakdown of state categories that may surprise you. The most permissive states with the highest NIL earning potential: Florida, Texas, California, Georgia. These states have minimal restrictions and actively encourage NIL activities. Your moderately permissive states would be Ohio, Pennsylvania, North Carolina. Some restrictions, but generally athlete friendly. Now, your very restrictive states would include Alabama, South Carolina, Connecticut, significant limitations on deal types and values. Most restrictive states, some states still have laws that make meaningful NIL deals nearly impossible. Two identical soccer players, same position, same statistics, same social media following. One plays in Florida, one plays in Alabama. The Florida athlete signed $85,000 worth of NIL deals. The Alabama athlete has earned 3,200. Same talent, different state laws. But here's where it gets really complicated. State laws are changing constantly. You have to track law changes in 50 states because a single legislative session can completely change an athlete's earning potential. Recent changes that shocked the experts. One state went from highly restrictive to completely permissive in 6 months. Another state added restrictions that eliminated 60% of existing NIL deals. A third state created tax implications that made NIL deals financially unviable. Before your kid commits to any school, research that state's NIL laws as carefully as you research the academic program. Geography might be more important than talent level for earning potential. All right, here's your step by step strategy for maximizing your NIL eligibility based on everything my expert team has taught me. Step one, state law research. Before your athlete commits anywhere, research that state's NIL laws. Step two, compliance perfection. Maintain perfect NCAA compliance from day one. Minor violations that seem insignificant can eliminate six-figure NIL opportunities. Perfect paperwork equals perfect earning potential. Step three, division optimization. Don't assume D1 means better NIL opportunities. Data shows D3 and D2 athletes often out earn D1 athletes in NIL deals. Choose based on marketability, not division prestige. Step four, visa consultation for international athletes. If your athlete is international, consult with an immigration attorney who specializes in F1 visa work authorization. Proper visa planning can unlock six-figure passive NIL opportunities that most international athletes miss. Step five, personal brand development. Start building marketability before college. The athletes earning the most NIL money aren't necessarily the best players, they're the most marketable. Social media presence, community involvement, and personal brand matter more than statistics. Step 6, legal consultation. Work with attorneys who specialize in NIL deals. The eligibility rules are too complex for families to navigate alone, and mistakes are expensive. NIL eligibility isn't about checking boxes, it's about optimizing opportunities. The families who understand the nuances are the ones whose kids maximize their earning potential. Here's what I want you to remember: NIL eligibility is way more complex and opportunity rich than most families realize. Division 3 walk-ons are earning six figures while Division 1 starters earn nothing. International students are out earning American athletes through passive licensing deals. State laws matter more than talent level for determining earning potential. The athletes and families who understand these eligibility nuances are the ones maximizing their opportunities while everyone else leaves money on the table. If this video revealed eligibility opportunities you didn't know existed, hit that subscribe button. I'm working with these NIL experts every week to uncover strategies that can transform your family's financial outcomes. What questions do you have about NIL eligibility? Drop them in the comments below, and I'll get to as many as I can. Take care, and I'll see you next time.